Hi guys, it's Sandy. So I wanted to get on here and talk about fermented and probiotic foods because that combined with doing intermittent fasting has just helped get the belly bloat away from me. People had said to me, I didn't even notice that you had really gained weight. Well, because I was really good at hiding it. You can see in the before and after pictures that I definitely had it in my face and all the inflammation and the weight, but I also was carrying it in my belly. But you couldn't really tell because I would wear a shirt that was more flowy that would cover it. Listen, I'm tucking my shirt in and I have not done that in a long time because of my belly. So I'm able to tuck my shirt in again and feel confident going around with my shirt tucked in. I needed to get rid of that belly bloat. And how was I gonna do it? Well, I was talking to a friend last year, this was before I ever started intermittent fasting, and I said, you look so good. Like I just noticed her just slimming down, and I said, what are you doing? And she said, I started drinking kombucha, and it just started making my belly, just started flattening my belly. And I was like, okay. So I went and bought kombucha, and it absolutely made me gag. I couldn't even do it. Some of you guys probably love kombucha. Maybe it was the wrong one I bought, but I couldn't even get it down hardly. If you like kombucha, drink it. It's so good for you. Just watch the sugar content. Like look at the back. Some of them have a lot of sugar in them. But nonetheless, I wanted to find something that would give me the probiotics and be a fermented food, or at least, a probiotic food that would help me also just get rid of that belly bloat. So when I started intermittent fasting, I started adding some of these foods into my day. But let me tell you something. God knows what he's doing. He put billions of bacteria inside of our gut because it keeps us healthy. There's more bacteria in your gut than there are people in the world. So one person, I've got more in my gut than there are people in the world. Billions, but God knows what he was doing because it keeps you healthy. So it's really important. Hey, listen, I think almost everybody needs probiotics. The pills, there's different capsules, tons of different companies that do it, take them. But along with that, add some probiotic foods if you want to start seeing a difference in your gut also. So I didn't like kombucha at all, but I love other things. So I added things that I really like, and that's what you need to do. So let's start with sauerkraut. I love eating sauerkraut. So sauerkraut, I'll eat it hot or cold. I even started just preferring it cold. I got used to eating it cold and I just like it. So if I'm having a salad, I might stick a little bit just on the side, or whatever my dinner is, I might just stick some on the plate. I don't add anything to it. There's no sugars or anything like that. It might be a little TMI, but the sauerkraut has always given me gas. So I just take a digestive enzyme. I take one most days, just along with my vitamins. I take a digestive enzyme just to help, digest that. And that has helped. But nonetheless, my body's gotten used to it now. I love sauerkraut. So sauerkraut is definitely in my refrigerator. Something else I really like, I don't buy it all the time, but I do really like kefir. It's a great fermented food. And listen, all through the centuries, different cultures have eaten fermented foods because it's good for you. In America, we don't have anything native to us, so we get to eat all the foods from the different cultures, the fermented foods. But these have been around for centuries, these fermented foods, because our ancestors know it's good for us to eat them. So kefir, it's in the dairy section. I get it over near the yogurt. And like I said, I don't always get it, but every once in a while I'll just pick up a bottle, and I really like kefir also. And listen, share what you like, because you're gonna add some stuff that I have not tried or that others will like. So add in here if you do any probiotic foods. Yogurt is a good one. It's a good probiotic food. And you know what? When I would start to feel a yeast infection come on, I could eat yogurt at night and the next day it would be gone. Like it would just take care of it. So whatever's in here is really good for us. Now, this one says, I'm reading all of the things that would be on the back of a box of probiotics. The I can't even say any of them. Lactobacillus, or anyway, active cultures. They have all the good stuff in it. Now this is Greek yogurt. It doesn't have to be Greek. It can be regular. I would personally stay away from the vanillas and all of the the ones that have fruit in the bottom and that, because they are so full of sugar. Add your own. Add your own fruit to it, add some nuts to it, and add some of your own honey, some actually really good raw honey. And then you've got a much better thing than what they're putting in it. But nonetheless, I actually made this myself. This is the first time ever I saw a girl say, put it in the Instant Pot and you can make it in no time. It was so easy. I had no idea. Well, I can't say make it in no time. It still takes like time, but you don't do anything. You pour the milk in the Instant Pot and it does its thing. So why I have the milk out though is I did buy organic milk because I don't want, if you're buying, and we have to, listen, I know you gotta buy what you can afford, but the conventional eggs and meat and milks and stuff in the dairy or in the grocery store usually have steroids and antibiotics and everything in them. So buy whatever you need to buy, but just know that we need probiotics also because of everything they put into meat and eggs and the chickens and all that. So I bought the organic milk. Listen, this right here was cheaper than this whole thing of organic Greek yogurt, and I only used half of it. So I used half a thing of milk and it filled this all the way up. This is a half gallon. So I used half of a half gallon and it made enough for this entire 32 ounce thing of yogurt. I just used the same jar or container, put it in there. But if I use the whole thing, I can't believe how much cheaper it is also. So this is why I have this here, because I did buy the organic milk. Aldi has great prices on it. That's where I got it. All right, a couple other things. Apple cider vinegar. I've already told you it's good stuff. I use this and add some lemon juice to a big glass of water about 20 minutes before I have my first meal. So I'm intermittent fasting, that I'm doing 16 hours of not eating and then eating in an 8-hour window. So about 20 minutes before. Apple cider vinegar is great for regulating our blood sugar. So that way I'm not, whenever I do eat that first meal, I'm not getting big spikes in my insulin from the food. No matter what, when you eat food, you're gonna have insulin. I mean, that's the way our body works. But this just helps regulate it more. Or you can eat it after or drink it after dinner and it'll just regulate your blood sugar for the night. So anyway, apple cider vinegar is wonderful. It needs to be unpasteurized and then make sure it has the mother in it. And I can use this right here to make another probiotic food that I love, which are pickles. Listen, pickles are so easy to make. These are refrigerator pickles. So all you do is put the vinegar with the water, put the spices in, and you put your cucumbers in here, pour it over, and you've got pickles. They have to sit in the refrigerator because they'll just sit in there and pickle and ferment, you know, as they do. But if you're just using white vinegar, it's not the same. The apple cider vinegar is going to give you the major probiotics that you need. If you ever want me to make a pickle video, it's so easy. I'll do that for you. I'll show you how to do it, or I'll put the recipe that I use down in the comments or the description also. But this is what I do. I go and buy cucumbers like this, and I'll just, you know, cut them off to fit in here. You can see that I use the ones that are extra, and I just dice them up and put them in here. You see some peppercorns in there and some jalapeno spices in there. I like to give it a little bit of kick. So we've got jalapenos in here just to give it some kick. You could put onions in, you could put garlic cloves in. There's a lot that you could add, or you could just leave it plain and do vinegar and water and some spices just to, you know, pickle the cucumbers. This is a great probiotic. If it's a real pickle, it's a probiotic. So I love them. They're super crunchy and they are the easiest thing to make. And I'm telling you, when you buy the refrigerator pickles, if you're just going to buy your pickles right off the shelf that say Vlasic on them, you're not getting the probiotics at all. But the refrigerator pickles, depending on what they're made with, you can get that. This is way cheaper than the pickles that you buy in the refrigerated section. Way cheaper. It's so easy just to buy the cucumbers. They're way, way, way less. And then you're only using a half a cup of apple cider vinegar. So this will last a long time if you're making pickles. So pickles are a favorite of mine. Real pickles are a favorite of mine. We eat a lot of pickles, actually. And then this is the last thing that I want to share with you. Now listen, sourdough. This is my sourdough starter. I know it doesn't look like much. It's just a jar with some stuff in the bottom. It's my sourdough starter. So if you can get some sourdough bread, real sourdough bread, the stuff that you see in the grocery that's in the bread aisle is full of chemicals just to be able to keep it on the shelf. That is not actually real bread. Buy real bread. Real bread's actually good for you. People are so afraid of it, but it's not bad if it's real bread. So sourdough is really good for your gut because it's that fermented, sourdough is fermented, but if you have a bakery close by that does sourdough bread, go and buy it there. Another thing I do though is just take my sourdough starter. I thought it was too hard to make bread with sourdough, but I use it for other things. You can make pancakes out of it and put it in, one of my favorite things is to make sourdough flatbread, actually. And I just take it and put a little bit of garlic salt in and pour it into the skillet, and I just make a thin, and it's a sourdough flatbread. So I can just use that flatbread for whatever. Eat it right along with my meal, whatever. It's just really good. It's so easy. So sourdough is another good fermented food. So this is what I do. I highly recommend that you add fermented food, probiotic food into your diet because that is going to help your bacteria. And if you want to start helping get rid of that belly bloat, I'm not flat. It's got a little ways to go, but boy, is it shrinking down. Intermittent fasting and probiotic foods. But let me tell you something else. Intermittent fasting is a big thing also to do with this because I have a friend that she started intermittent fasting. She said, I look like I was pregnant. And she said, I had this big belly and the rest of me wasn't really that big. And she started intermittent fasting, started losing weight, but started losing her belly. So add these two together, you guys, and it's a win-win. All right, that's all I have for now. Until next time, I'm out.